Hey, good afternoon, guys, or late good afternoon. It is about 4:54 p.m. on this Wednesday, late Wednesday afternoon, uh, December 4th. Oh, not Wednesday, but Thursday afternoon. Excuse me, I don't know why I had Wednesday on the brain. Sorry. Thursday, December 4th, 2025. It is about 45 degrees outside. Feels like it's 44. But anyway, before we get started in this audio video, I'd like to ask you guys to do me a solid favor, as always, and that's like the video, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. Also, guys, you can click on my links in the description to find my content elsewhere. If you are into podcast listening, you can find me at all your favorite audio and video podcast affiliates like iTunes, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Radio Public, and to an extent, SiriusXM. Also, ladies and gentlemen, you can find me at other video outlets like Rumble.com, VENMO.com, Dailymotion, and Odyssey. I am also on DeviantArt, DeviantArt.com at BVW1979, and I am at InkBunny.net at INKBUNNY.net at BW Roses, and I am also, just if you're curious, on Fur Affinity. That's Fur Affinity at BW1979 if you're curious into that. Also, guys, I'm also on Patreon. I got plans for the Patreon. That's going to happen real soon. Check that out if you'd like to support me. I also have a Venmo and a Cash App. It'd be greatly appreciated if you could do that if you'd like. Also, guys, I have a couple of online stores. Yes, I have a Fourth Wall store. Link is at the top. And a Teespring store. Link is at the bottom in the description. Also, guys, if you'd like to during this live video premiere, chime in this live chat, if you will. Give your thoughts on what I have to say here, as well as if you're in the mood to do so. If you want to feel generous and all that, it's up to you. Super chats will be open. Whatever you can donate would be greatly appreciated. Also, on both occasions, live video premiere and afterwards, the comment section will be open. Now, with that said, if you guys don't get here in time for the live video premiere, but you feel like being generous and donating, you can still do so through the Super Thanks, which is a little heart with a dollar sign. Also, guys, there will be some affiliated stores listed with items you might be interested in during this holiday Christmas season to get yourself, family, friends, or whatever's on your mind to help you out this holiday season. They will be listed, during this video, so you can click on those if you would like. Now, with that said, as I get ready to go through the topics here, make sure I get them all. Make sure I get them all and everything. Okay, just making sure. Alright, so I haven't talked about this in a bit. You might say, well, it hasn't been that long. Well, it's been long enough in a way. But anyway, the last time I talked about AI and how they were getting better, I talked about how it seems that Kling was getting better. And how, they were getting the 2.5 turbo, getting back up there, right? I also talked about how Hailuo, if you will, was teaming up with Google in the VEO, right? So I talked about that. I talked about that and everything. And like I said, I talked about Kling. Talked about Vidu adding extensions, VIDU adding extensions now for a very cheap price, very affordable credit-wise. So I talked about a lot of things being upgraded and improved. Well, leave it to Kling, leave it to Hailuo, and leave it to Pixverse, that's right, Pixverse, to basically up the ante. Because you see, over this holiday season, it seems a lot of them have decided to introduce some new upgrades to the playing field. Now, Hailuo actually started a little early. Now, as I mentioned, they do have, the VEO from Google incorporated. That's the 3.1 normal and the 3.1 fast. And because it's the holiday season, they've decided to, kind of slash, the pricing, credit-wise, if you will, that you spend when you use the VEO 3.1 or 3.1 fast. They've decided to slice it to where instead of you're spending 120 or 100, you're spending half of that, which I think is pretty cool. But On the other hand, they also decided to add another element to the party. They decided to incorporate SORA 2. That's right, SORA 2 has been incorporated. The only catch is you got to make sure that the images you use in SORA 2 or in the SORA 2 add-on to Hailuo, what you got to do, which is a catch, is make sure the images are pretty much at 1080p, maybe 720p at the at the lowest, but mostly 1080p and high. Well, I'll put it this way: 720p and basically above 1080p, 4K. You get the idea. You got to make sure it's in high def, pretty much. And when you do it, what they'll also have you do is kind of decide to crop a little bit of that picture. In other words, you'll get that box in the middle, and they'll ask you to kind of crop, they'll kind of position it a certain way, and that way you'll be good to go. But the other thing I've noticed, and I should have been aware of this, but I guess during these kind of integrations, these partnerships that get done, apparently you also, if you're Hailuo or Artlist or whoever, that incorporates these other video AI generation creative softwares or upgrades, I think honestly, we all thought, hey, they'll still be able to follow the rules, so you'll still get a little bit of leniency, if you will, from Hailuo and others that incorporate these things, right? No, not really, because I should have been aware of this with VEO, and even though they're a little bit more lenient, it's apparent that when Hailuo, Artlist, or whoever else incorporates VEO, or in this case SORA, into their software, that they also got to agree to the rules of those AI those AI video generates, if you will, or AI video software. They got to basically agree to the rules. And what that means is, unfortunately, you can't use photorealistic images or images that have a human face on it, even if it's animated. Although with SORA 2 on its regular site, on its normal site, if it's an animated character, they have no problem. They have no problem whatsoever. But apparently, because they've just been integrated into Hailuo, obviously the AI is kind of confused and mistakes animated human faces for photorealistic human faces. But yeah, that's the catch. You got to follow the SORA 2 rule when it comes to that. Hopefully, Hailuo and others will probably find a way around that, so you don't have to worry too much, about that holding back situation, being held back in creativity still. But yeah, Hailuo has decided to add on SORA 2, and it costs about basically 80 credits, if you will, if you want to go to full-on 10 seconds and stuff. So they've done that, and it's a good addition, don't get me wrong. It's actually pretty good. It's still SORA 2, just as an addition to another platform. And over time, I think that platform might be able to get around the whole restriction deal, so you can have a little bit more creativity. But they're not the only ones to step it up. As I said, Kling has decided to step it up as well, because at first, and it still gets advertised, 2.5 Turbo was one of the newest ones, right? Very affordable, very cheap. But they decided they're going to up the ante, and they're going to go, are you ready for this? And you'll see it here, 2.6 with audio. That's right. This one is a little bit different, a little bit more in price, way more in price, I should say. But again, because it's the holidays and it's new, it's being introduced new, or as new, I should say, during the holidays. They're slicing off the regular price, credit-wise, that you would spend to create stuff by a huge percentage, by at least 30%. So in this case, instead of spending 100, you'll be spending 70. But that's not the only thing they've introduced. They've also introduced the Kling Q1, or Kling 01, or whatever it's called. Kling 01, Kling Q1, whatever it is. But basically what this one is, apparently, from what I'm understanding, apparently what this one is essentially, it's supposed to be the all-in-one AI. It's supposed to be the all-in-one, and it gives you everything you want. And it tries to basically be more precise than I think anything else. And it does show potential. It does show potential that it is, basically willing to be exactly that, be the more precise upgrade that is needed for Kling. And what's interesting is when I say it's all in one, basically when you create a video or an image, it not only lets you put the image of the video or the image you want to use to create the video in there, but it also allows you to add on a reference image and all that, as well as effects. Basically get everything all together in one video and be done with it. That's what they allow you to do. That's what the Kling 01, Q1, whatever it's called, allows you to do. And I think that's impressive. I really do. I really do. But, are they completely precise? Not exactly. They are getting there, but they're not, they're not completely precise. 2.6 isn't, and neither is Kling Q1, but they are getting there. The same with Kling 2.5 Turbo. It's getting there. You can see the potential, especially on how you do the prompts, and everything. It's getting there, but it still has a ways to go. Still has a ways to go. Now, on top of that, let's go to Pixverse. Now, I haven't tried this out, but apparently Pixverse, has decided to go the 5.5 route. Now, apparently this is going to be, I guess, their answer to Kling 2.5 and Kling 2.6 and Hailuo's 2.3 fast and 2.3, as well as the integration of VEO 3 and VEO VEO 3.1 and SORA. That's what I was trying to say. I don't know why I almost had a brain fart there. I've been having those lately. I guess when you do these audio video on camera videos live and uncut, you kind of you're trying to think about something and you suddenly just forget about it, or you start having a brain fart and wondering, okay, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I was going to say that. But anyway, yeah, they've decided to add in Pixverse 5.5, which again, like I said, is apparently their answer to Hailuo's VEO 3.1 fast and non-fast, and the integration there. The Hailuo 2.3 and 2.3 fast, and and the recent inclusion of SORA 2. So that's what Pixverse's 5.5 seemingly is seemingly looks like it's going to be. So yeah, it looks like they're taking that necessary step that's needed as well. But yeah, as I've noted before, this is definitely a very competitive. It's definitely a very competitive, race, if you will. It's definitely a very competitive race to be the top AI creative software out there. Whether it's just to create an image, whether it's to create a video, whatever the case may be, this race is tight. It is huge. It is tight. And basically, I guarantee you right now, I basically can tell you guaranteed that basically whoever decides to take that next leap, if you will, they're going to be the ones that really just set the pace. They set the pace, and they're going to be pretty much ahead of the pack. They're going to be ahead of the pack. And right now, with Kling bringing in the 0.1 or Q1, the all-in-one deal, they might be on the verge of doing that, but they need to get better at the preciseness. They really do. They're getting there, like I said, they're getting there, but they need to get a little bit better. They really do. And also, they need to incorporate multi-language voices, is what they need to do. They need to incorporate multi-language voices into the creations that people make. Whether it's with 2.5 Turbo, 2.6, Q1, whatever the case may be, they need to incorporate the voices to sound very multi-language, English, Spanish, you name it. So they need to do that, and once they do that, they should be okay. They should be okay. But overall, you got all these, AIs, including Gronk, it's not Gronk, it's Gonk. It's Gonk, it's Grok, Gonk. And they're getting better too. they've taken out this one element that would say spicy if they felt like the image was getting too much. But what's crazy is, they do allow you to have, well, I wouldn't say they do allow you, but basically they're pretty much more lenient, I'll put it that way, in what you could create. Yeah, sometimes they're going to give you the message of cannot moderate, try again. But there are times they will let you go far and let you keep it. And when you see how far they'll let you go, or at least as far as you can go, you'll be like, holy smokes, that's something that I never thought was possible. And yet here it is with Gonk, which is a Twitter, aka X, Elon Musk creation. Here it is basically taking that step and letting you be more creative in certain ways, certain manners that you didn't think possible. I mean, I can't show it here on YouTube, but let's put it this way. If you wanted to take that scene where Gadget is sitting down with Dale at the beginning of Double O Chipmunk from Rescue Rangers, and you wanted to turn that into a scenario where they kiss and all that, you could do it. And you could do that with any of them, except for maybe SORA. But you could do that with any of the AIs, where they'll just kiss and that's good, and that's it. But with Gonk, that's G-R-O-K, Gonk, you can take it a little further. You can take it a little further to where if you want to be a little risque, a little frisky, you can even have it to where they kiss, they lay down on the branch, start making out and everything. And then if you want to take it to that next level, again, you got to be aware you will get that message at times of couldn't moderate, try again kind of deal. You'll get that message on occasions. But once in a while, more so with any of these AIs, you'll actually get the moment that you want. Like, let's say, again, you have them kiss, that you have them lay down and they're making out, on the tree branch leading into headquarters and all that. And if you want to take it further and where, to the point that they make LOVE, you can do that. But again, this is AI, you got to remember, so they do have a little bit of a risk. Or not a risk, but they don't actually get it all, right all the time. But when they do, or at least get it partially right, it will surprise you. It will surprise you, believe me. I mean, you can even have a character, change their outfit, if you will, get on a bed, and have this female character, look at you seductively and say, "Let's have you know what," let's have you know what. Or you can have them, let's say, let's have you know what, or let's make this quote unquote a memorable night. If you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying, you get my drift. But yeah, they can allow you to do that. But again, the other thing you gotta be aware of is that probably, not as much, but when the AI feels like it, they will probably put a lot of can't moderate, try again messages on there. And the other catch, unless you have a subscription, with the Super 4 and all that, you only have a limitation of, I'm assuming, maybe 10, 15, 20 free video gens or creations, excuse me, to utilize, to have fun with. So yeah, Gonk, if you will, G-R-O-K, they're good, they're getting there, and they are probably one of the only ones out there, probably the only one that lets you go a little further into your creation, but they'll still give you those messages of, hey, we can't do this, try again, kind of deal. So it's good, it is good to see that coming into play. It is good to see that coming into play, and hopefully, maybe all these other AI sites will take a page out of Gonk's, playbook, and realize, like, okay, it's fine if we let them go a little bit further than normal, like take that step, a little higher, if you will. I don't know why I was, freezing on what I was going to say there, or brain farting on what I was going to say there. But let them go a little further than normal. Hopefully they'll take a page out of that and realize, hey, there's no harm, no foul. As long as you don't really go all the way, if you know what I mean, there should be no harm or foul. At least you're allowing the people creating to give off the idea of that's where it's going to go. If you know what I mean. But yeah, But yeah, this past Thanksgiving holiday, obviously, and into this Christmas holiday, it's seemingly, upgrades galore. This holiday season has become upgrades galore for these AI sites, and it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. So the ones I think that take it to that next level, right now in the running, the top three are Kling, Hailuo, and Vidu. So we'll see what they do. We'll see what their next step's going to be if they want to maintain that top spot. And again, like I said, Gonk I think could definitely teach them something by being a little bit more lenient in creativity. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Comment down below, like the video, ring the bell for notifications, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. And click on the links in the description to find my content also outside of YouTube and to support me outside of YouTube as well. But guys, I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this. Have you tried any of these upgrades and all that? Let me know your experience. Give your opinions on what you feel needs to be changed. Do you believe that, again, these AI sites, these other AI sites, I should say, could take a lesson from the Gonk, the Twitter, Elon Musk AI, and be a little bit more lenient in the in people's creativity? Let me know. And until then, I'll talk to y'all later. God bless. Take care.